Free Ghislaine. He was the best guy around.
What about the people he murdered?
What murder?
Is that how her name's actually pronounced?
I think it's like Ghislaine.
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 Say it the most inaccurate way.
Free Ghislaine Maxwell. Free Ghislaine Maxwell. She did nothing wrong, obviously. Why is she in prison?
For real.
She didn't traffic anything to anybody, apparently. I mean, you know, what's the point of it all?
Fashionista and party planner.
Daughter to a great man who was just a great media mogul and nothing else.
Daughter to a renowned war hero.
That's true. And media mogul. Nothing else.
He was actually a spy. He's like James Bond for non-anti-Semites.
We didn't dive too deep into Ghislaine. We got to talk
tax evasion and was really popular. Had a lot of friends.
We got to talk about what Trump just did today.
What did he do today?
He told the Department of Justice to tell the Supreme Court that it would be a really bad idea to listen to Ghislaine's testimony.
Why? Like, what's his argument there?
I don't know. We'll read it. And Trump put an AI video of Obama being arrested by the FBI. Obviously going to happen. Trump Department of Justice urges Supreme Court to reject appeal from Epstein accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell. Maxwell is attempting to be released from prison by arguing Epstein's 2008 non-prosecution agreement shielded her from prosecution. But also, she did nothing wrong.
She's a tax evader, you know? She's scum. Hard truths. She's a human trafficker, guys. Why were you going to trust what she's saying? Remember when he wished her very well? Wished her well?
Yeah, that was really nice of him, actually. That was actually, like, pretty kind of him to wish her well.
Could you imagine being in her shoes? Like not talking about doing the things she did, but, like, you know, just imagine being where she is now.
In prison?
Yeah, prison.
Honestly, it's kind of where she belongs because she evaded taxes and she supposedly let her boyfriend, like, do all these things that allegedly there's no tapes of, or, you know, apparently there's no tapes at all of, which is crazy, you know. All these conspiracies online are all bullshit. We've all been led to believe that there's a client list, or, you know, a lot of people were, but there's no client list. There's nothing. It's
just like a couple of freaks.
It was a couple of weirdos that just went around and did a lot of weird stuff.
And they did this years ago.
They did.
And they're just talking about this now.
And they have a lot of just really famous friends. Prince Andrew, Donald Trump, Bill Clinton. Ghislaine Maxwell even attended Chelsea Clinton's wedding at one point. You know, that's, you know, none of that's related to anything. It's just all it's just all fascinating connections to nothing.
Yeah.
She's trying to say her 2008 deal, her non-prosecutor deal, where Epstein got charged with trafficking, but then they said that any co-conspirators wouldn't be charged. She's trying to argue that that was, made it so she wouldn't be arrested in the future. And now with no client list, it's almost like, why is she in jail in the first place? But why should we let her do that? Because she is in jail for a reason, and that's evading taxes with her boyfriend or husband, whatever they were. You know?
Yeah, honestly, I expect her to get out pretty soon.
I don't know if she'll get out. If she does, it would be would be a big mark on justice if she got out. It would be a mark on justice if she was able to testify, because, you know, what's she going to say? She's just going to say that her sentence was no good. She evaded taxes. That has nothing to do with the 2008 plea deal about whatever Epstein was involved in 2008. You know, this tax deal is a whole new thing.
You know what else, dude? We're just a couple of normal guys, you know? We're just dudes talking about these powerful people. And, like, that's how you know, like, we're... Like, why would we lie?
Well, exactly. We have no reason to lie.
We're just like, these are the people who rule the world. These are the people that, like, make the world turn. And this is just, like, shit that's going on. And there's crazy shit going on right now. And we're talking about something that happened years ago.
Exactly. It's water under the bridge. We need to just leave it all alone. This guy's been dead for years now. Like we should just. Why are we still talking about the guy that never dies?
Yeah. Honestly, you know what else? People got to leave Prince Andrew alone.
I agree, but also just a quick aside. All these influencers got a call from their friends in the White House, and they were all told to just trust their friends in the White House about this whole thing. And I think that we should follow through and trust them. But yeah, leave Prince Andrew alone. Why is he just got let out of house arrest or something? Why is he still being bothered with this whole case? Like, he needs to just be left alone. That woman that was involved in the whole thing that accused him, apparently falsely,
Killed herself.
She killed herself. Yeah, probably because she didn't understand how much that affected Prince Andrew's life to say all those things about him.
You're gonna lie about the prince of these people's country. Like, that's their prince, and you're gonna lie about him like that. And I'm sure that she got a lot of hate for that. And she probably, she shouldn't have done what she did. I don't think she should have killed herself.
Yeah, no one should. It's amazing that she implicated so many powerful people at once, and then did that because she talked about Prince Andrew, she talked about Bill Clinton, she talked about Donald Trump, and talked about how they were all involved in the organization actively. This alleged organization that didn't exist, and she mentioned all these powerful people that ran everything. And pretty much just uncovered a vast network of blackmail that could have potentially just upset the entire planet. But it really was just, it was a total, figment of her imagination, and it never really happened. And there's no way that anyone will ever be able to say anything otherwise, because she killed herself. And, nobody will ever be able to prove it. But yeah, we need to leave Prince Andrew alone. Yeah, we just need to leave Prince Andrew alone. He needs to live the rest of his life and do his princely things that he likes to do.
We need to leave Prince Andrew alone for the same reasons we need to leave Donald Trump alone.
Yeah, we just need to let them do their own thing while they figure it all out.
That's what these people don't want you to do, is to do your own thing. They want you all to just kind of conform to your belief.
A lot of people think that they try to distract us, but what really happens is that we distract ourselves, and they try to take attention away from when we distract ourselves with trying to find ourselves or develop ourselves. They throw something else in front of us because that's not going to distract us anymore. It's going to feed us in a positive direction, whether it be state propaganda or just basic things to conform to everyday life. And on the idea of distractions, people are saying that this Texas flood scenario was started as a distraction to take away from the Epstein thing. People are saying that the Rainmaker CEO seeded the area with rain, so to speak, to basically cause flash floods in the area and cause widespread damage that would take away from the Epstein thing that was going on. And, there's no truth to that. The government doesn't do things like that, doesn't cause natural disasters or use the weather or certain weird, guerrilla warfare tactics in order to in order to distract us from what's really going on, because really there wasn't anything really going on. But why the government would be awful if they did that, because think of how many people died, think of all the things that happened. It would be awful if the government actually was potentially involved or tried to use this as a cover up, or even if they weren't involved in creating this, even if they tried to distract away from something and use this narrative to spin away from that. And that's why it was awful when, like, the reporter asked Pam Bondi about the Epstein files, and Trump, all his reaction was you're asking about Epstein? at a time like this, when we have all these great wins, but also great tragedies like the Texas flood, it's it's amazing that people don't see the writing on the wall, that you're not being distracted, that all this is just happening.
Yeah, this is stuff they don't want you to know.
So speaking of stuff they don't want you to know, Area 51, it was on fire lately, which is, that's kind of crazy. The area around Area 51 was on fire. And, a lot of people are saying that it went miles and it was away from Area 51, but it just kind of burned up to it. But I think it's kind of crazy that there would even be a fire around a place that has such crazy, secrets that supposedly didn't even exist up until 2012 when they verified that it existed. Up until that point, it was probably just like some kind of government, warehouse to store like janitorial items or spacecrafts that were just like, a little cool.
Yeah. I think it was just lightning that struck something. I think that's what it says.
That's all it was. Yeah, it was just lightning. Lightning struck there and struck the Grand Canyon, which is amazing because now I think I might have heard that there's a uranium deposit they discovered in the Grand Canyon. But if that's true, it would make a lot of sense that lightning would strike over there. We'd have a fire, and we wouldn't want anyone to go over there and mess around with that. But yeah, it's kind of it's fascinating that it struck in two totally different places that supposedly are having, really interesting things happen lately. On the subject of Area 51, Roswell was not like anything crazy. We might have even mentioned this before, but Roswell, New Mexico was just like it was just a crashed weather balloon. That's all it was. I mean, you can see pictures of it and everything. They posted it all over the papers. It was just a funky looking weather balloon. That's all it was. It looked like all it looked like was just some kind of reflective material, and that was it. And it, that's all it was just some weird weather balloon. Larry E. King, if I'm not mistaken, was his name, from the Franklin scandal. And
Yes.
going back to the subject of Epstein and all that, there was nothing to that. All that, Larry E. King stuff, Boys Town and Girls Town, I forgot, Nebraska, if I'm not mistaken, that he was on the board of, and then this Franklin Credit Union that he also owned, which, I guess some people were involved in some weird stuff there, but he had nothing to do with it. It's just amazing that a lot of people were testifying against him and saying that there were a lot of high-profile people involved.
If this is all like a government operation to some degree, like, why are we going after them? They want us to like endanger our own men that are like running an operation to some end for the government, to help the government, to help us.
Yeah, that's why the government never reveals information that happens in Black Ops missions. It's for our benefit, in order to keep us safe and to keep our soldiers safe. To not reveal any
People really just don't care about the soldiers anymore.
That's true. When have you heard anyone ever say support our troops anymore? It never happens. No one ever supports the troops anymore. Ever.
I always like to say that America is like a small boat in a storm, and there's only room for some of us.
And all those people are either rich, famous, or celebrities. Those are the ones that deserve our grace and our looking up to. That's it. Those are the ones that should man that small boat and pass us through that storm.
Not enough people realize that they're a net negative to the economy. I mean, plenty of people.
Well, the reason why they're a net negative is because they're not spending their money. They're hoarding their money. And
they're hoarding their money. They're hoarding their property.
Well, exactly. The only way that they're going to, be able to benefit the economy is if they, if they start selling or buying everything that they possibly can, and just repeating that cycle of selling and buying everything. Just stop hoarding everything and just sell and buy as much as you can. That's how you contribute to the economy, is you just keep the flow of money through the economy. The flow of cash constantly being in the economy and you having almost no money, but just enough to survive and make more money and buy more things and sell more things. That right there, that's how you accomplish life. That's how you keep the economy going, and that's how you just accomplish everything. That's basically, life is a video game, and that's how you win it right there.
And life is just like a video game.
It is. You buy and sell goods, you produce things, and it's a never-ending cycle until the game shuts off forever. Life is exactly like a video game.
And life is actually like the best kind of video game, which is like a live service game, like a subscription based game, where you have to like keep putting the money in to keep up with the game, to keep like hanging with the new updates.
Exactly. And we should also clarify that in saying all this, we're not subscribing to any lunatic theories like the holographic universe or simulation theory, all of that nonsense.
No, it's just like video games are the perfect example of what life is like.
Exactly. We really want to emphasize though that, life is not a simulation and there is no simulation theory. There's nothing like that. There's no such thing as synchronicities. There's no such thing as
God made games.
God made games, exactly. Talking about the economy and everything, I want to relate it to something else besides video games too. You know what else it is also like? It's like the Greek story of the hero Sisyphus, who's constantly rolling a rock up a hill and it's constantly falling back down. And he has to keep rolling that rock back up that hill. That right there, that's a perfect analogy for, yes, life, but also the economy and your place in the economy. You need to keep rolling that rock back up that hill until it just keeps falling back down. And you need to keep rolling it back up there because maybe one day you'll stay up there and your worth will be measured by how much work that you put into everything. But always remember, never hoard the money. Always spend, always buy, always sell. Always. And like Glengarry Glen Ross, always be closing too.
Spending money and earning money, it's like breathing.
It is. If you're not doing it in the moment, then what are you doing? You're not living. You're clearly not alive. We live in a capitalistic society where every single moment you have to spend as much money as you possibly can. That's just a fact. Every moment, every waking moment of every day, you have to spend at least $150 to $300 to live. That's a fact. You have to. If you don't do that, your day is shot. You really should just keep pushing the economy the furthest you can and keep everything going as much as you possibly can. I mean, speaking of the economy, I just want to mention that we have a word from our sponsors, and I'd like to, take a quick commercial break and present that word from our sponsors. Have you been feeling down? Feeling like life is a bit too much and you're on the edge every day? Well, we have something for you. The latest in science technology. Just one pill of fuck it all, and you'll be at peace with the world. Just one, and you'll say, fuck it all. So why not take one and say, fuck it all? Haven't you ever wondered how other people keep it together in a world so crazy? There's only one way. You have to say, fuck it all.
under any circumstances by those with anything left to lose, and most of the 99% Fuck It All and its affiliates are not responsible for any major repercussions from said nihilism. If you are experiencing any effects from said Fuck It All and existential nihilism, please kindly go fuck yourself.
I want to be belligerent. I want to be able to do what I want, walk around like an asshole, but more like an Andy Kaufman type situation where it's not really me, it's this character I create, and no one understands until I'm on my deathbed and I go, gotcha. Every day, baby, I get French Kentucky every day. Anybody get a cup of lemonade unless they sip it free, because 25 cents ain't nothing to me. Yo, and if I tuck my shirt in, you best get ready to go to sleep, because you ain't ever get a peek. I give you a little treat. You my dog. It's nice to meet. I give you a pet on the head, and then I rip off your feet. Take a seat before I make you skip a beat. You reap what you sow. This is the psychotic flow, and as I pick it up, I drop it down, and I go to the bathroom.
Now we're gathered here with one of the witnesses to the exciting event, a local vagrant known by Wild Bill in the circles. Wild Bill, what exactly did you see?
Yeah, man. First of all, I'm a baby. Okay, well, first of all, I have this corner I piss in that I also sleep in, and I broke its tree. I had to walk away. If I had to guess, my name is Betty. What was your question? What did I see? I was sleeping. I was sleeping with my wife. I was sleeping with my wife, and I fell asleep with my wife. So if when I slept there, I felt like a thing happened in my sleep. So when I slept there, I felt it. So when I woke up, I saw this, and it was where I thought it was. And I couldn't even imagine what I thought. But when I thought what I thought, we couldn't even imagine. So I slept there some more. And then I forgot, dude. I forgot. So I woke up again, and then I thought that I saw it, but it was brown and green. And then I fucking lied about it to some other person. They gave me $2. So and then I fell asleep. My wife was there. I was sleeping with my wife. So then I woke up with my wife. She was sleeping there with me, and then I died, dude. And what was your question? I was there with my wife, dude. So when I was there with my wife, I saw this. Well, it was definitely blue. So if I was there, so wait, what was the question?
What exactly did you see?
So did you wait? So if you want to meet my wife?
Sure, maybe she would be a good witness to the situation.
So this is my wife. This is my wife, Kathleen.
This appears to be a dead possum.
Nope, this is a woman. You see her hair? She's here. We live in this place. I pee here too. So I was sleeping here. The wind was. I saw. I saw my wife. I was sleeping here. Yo. You ever buy a hammock?
Yes, sir. I have a hammock at my home.
I lived in a hammock once. Oh man. Yo. Wait, what was the question?
So, what exactly did you see?
So I was at a place. I was sleeping with my wife. We were sleeping. We were very tired. we were. I love my wife. I don't think you understand. I broke the tree. So we slept at the tree I broke because I felt bad, and then we went to the place that we didn't break another tree. That felt a little better. So we slept there the day after. I it was brown and green whatever I saw. But I think I mowed a lawn. I think I made a little bit of money, breakfast, and then my daddy, the first time I tried a yo-yo was in the branch of the tree. I broke the tree. My mom. Yeah.
Interesting. So, what exactly happened at the scene?
Of the crime?
Yes, sir. Of the crime.
Did someone die? Wait, what happened? Am I arrested?
No, sir. You're not under arrest. No, you're not under arrest. Don't worry, sir. You were a witness to this horrific, incredibly strange ordeal tonight.
Is my wife dead?
I think she is, but I don't believe that's related to the ordeal.
If my wife's dead, I want to die.
No, sorry. Your wife's not dead, sir. I'm sorry.
She's dead now. I'm not gonna be alive now if she's not alive. And the tree I killed, that was my fault. That she died because I died. Tree, I broke the whole limb off the tree. This was our first swing that we had kids on those. Oh, first place me and my wife met with this tree. First place. Oh, fuck off. I'm trying to break it again. I'm trying to break it more. I'm trying to break it. I killed a tree. You bastard. It's your fault. You killed my wife.
Well, you heard it here first on News at 9. Oasis Wasteland Water. Do you often ask yourself a series of nonsensical questions like, where did the trees go? Oasis Wasteland Water. Will microplastics destroy us? Why are our waterbeds drying up? Oasis Wasteland Water. Should we be worried about climate change? And what's with the increase in natural disasters? Oasis Wasteland Water. Don't worry about any of that. Wash away all of your negative thoughts with our premium glacier melted bottled water. Oasis Wasteland Water. Now completed with 10 different flavors, including pine tree. Collect all bottles for a secret code. Oasis Wasteland Water. Stop staring into the abyss and buy the water. Oasis Wasteland Water. Melted from the finest glaciers in the world. Enjoy it before they're all gone.
I wish, man.
Me too.
I wish that was the realness of it, but it's not, because we're all just fucking fart nuggets. We're all fart nuggets. We're floating around this stupid world, and we all mean nothing. Everything's stupid.
I'm
Everything's
not a
dumb.
fart nugget.
Dude, you're a fart nugget. I'm a fart nugget. He's a fart nugget. This stupid
I'm the biggest
bear.
fart nugget.
Dude, nothing. Dude, fart nugget. Nobody's gonna live. Nobody's gonna die. Everybody's gonna fry in the octagon of the spy finger. Everybody's finger is made of lion hair. And no one can fucking pair themselves up with fucking tortellini walk knock because we don't know who we are. And we're all spatula nogs. And we're all fraudulent frogs. No one can ever prosper if you don't know where the band-aids are sold. We don't care anymore. We're all bugs. We're all Bartholomew's in this world of octagon begonias that grow without the leaves. They just turn into flowers. And we could be an hour away from where we want to be, but we'd never even get there. And we would stare into the sun. And we'd all die.
A peek behind the curtain.
If anybody listens to this after I edit it and post it, this is what it's like when we meet up and discuss what we're going to talk about and the topics that we're going to present.
Especially if you just ate fish tacos and steak tacos. Because then you'll be like me.
Exactly.
If I could spit all that beer into the phone and make it be cool, I would have.
You don't have to do that because we got no visuals right now.
Of me?
For anyone listening, he's talking about spitting the beer into the phone camera. He is our head producer here. He is one of the best. We hired him right out from, outside of Paramount Studios, right before they got sold to MGM or MGM bought them or something. He claimed to be a head writer there. He was very talked about from the other raggedy men that he surrounded himself, but we just picked him up and we were like, all right, this will work. But he is our head writer and our head producer. Anything that we say that's written is from him. He's the great one. So if you feel a vibe from our show, you can thank this man right here,
And
the
if
man from Kentucky.
you don't believe this fucking guy, you can go to my.
If you don't
can come
believe
to
me, you
my
can
house.
go.
Hey,
You can come to his house.
Hey, you can come to my house and I'll fuck you up. Let me tell you what.
Exactly. He speaks for all of us.
Hey, let me goddamn tell you. You don't fuck with the goddamn horsefly, or else I'll fucking stick a needle in your eye. And that's the bottom line.
We're sending in the troops now.
Hey, this is old Frederick Dang Dong from Tactical Gears R Us. I think we need to arrest somebody. I'm 500 pounds. It's gonna be hard for me to find them. I can't fit my glove on. It's gonna take me about another 20 minutes.
You know what they say, Billy Ray? If the glove don't fit, you must have quit.
Do I have a pee stain on me? Because if so, stop recording.
Oh, shit, my beer's overflowing. We got pee stain. All right, we're cutting.
I think my wife's calling me.
I think my wife's cheating. Why is my wife calling you? Billy Ray, why is she calling you? Why is my wife confiding in you? Cut to the commercial, please.
Wait. Why does your wife know my birthday? Wait.
Why is my wife asking you all of these strange questions, Billy Ray? And why do I see these text messages you were sending right now? Why would you do that in front of me, Billy Ray? And we'll be back to fishing moments after these messages.
Flying car debate round 2.
Yeah. I don't have my notes on me, so no thank you.
I don't need no notes. All I need is my fucking instinctual patterns of fluctuation and energy.
Maybe if you had some notes, you'd actually make some sense.
What are you talking about, dog? Dude, no one's ever gonna buy one.
Don't call me a fucking dog.
You know it's never gonna happen either? Flying dogs.
Already does happen. When white people get mad at another person and just instinctively throw their dog.
That too, yeah. There's a lot of white people that's gonna throw dogs, dude, for whatever reason. They need to throw a dog, and that's the way white people work.
Throw dog sounds like slang.
There's a lot of people that just want to throw dogs.
Especially white ones.
Yeah, that's true. White people.
Tunguska explosion.
Hello, fellow Americans. Please come buy new vodka made here in States. It is approximately 36 liters. That is 9.5 gallons of pure vodka for you.
Drown your sorrows.
It is so heavy you will have to carry around wheelbarrow to carry it. It is much, much heavy. Please buy new vodka, Tunguska Explosion. You buy it now and we will give you free pass to our new casino. It is not even foreign intelligence operation. These rumors are untrue. Why even bring up?
Gamble away your sorrows.
Come down to casino now with wheelbarrow full of vodka as you sip and play game. Please, please, take time to make seat and enjoy nice slot machines as we surveil you.
Tunguska explosion.
Enjoy yourself as you sip from new Tunguska Explosion vodka. Now, the biggest vodka in the world. Are you depressed every day like normal American? Are you stuck sitting in cubicle not feeling very happy all the time? Well then enjoy vodka. What you doing still sitting there? Explore 9.5 gallons of pure wonder. And you will wonder how you never drank before.
Reggie's America.
Guns. Come on down to Reggie's Gun Shop where you want to murder somebody.
Hey man, you don't like that fucking tree? I'll shoot it down, and that's me, son. Come on down to Red.
You don't like those trees. You don't like those rabbits. You don't like those deer. You don't like those people. Well, come down to Reggie's when you need to kill something.
Shut up, you mother. stupid. I got a gun, and I got it from Reggie. And if I'm gonna shoot anything, it's gonna be you. And every person I hate, but even if I didn't have a mother gun, I'd still you
America. Reggie's.
Did you just buy well, then you should buy a gun down at Reggie.
Are you in the procurement of a major drug manufacturing operation? Then you should probably have a firearm. Come on down to Reggie's gun shop.
Did you just lose both your shoes? You should buy a gun.
And then get free shoes.
Get one at Reggie.
America.
Here at Reggie's, we sell everything that you could ever ask for in any kind of firearm. Handguns, shotguns, assault rifles. We even have the occasional missile for home defense.
Reggie's.
Here at Reggie, you want to kill your dad, we support you. We won't tell. In fact, we won't tell. Go ahead and kill your dad. Come get a gun today. We're Reggie.
Reggie's.
I was already here. I only got it. It's just not like this shit. Doggo. Thank you, Reggie.
I always go to Reggie's whenever I need a gun. He always got the best guns. I even went to the back one time. Reggie goes, hey, check this out. You see this shit? And I look, and it's a fucking nuke, bro. I shit you not. He said he got it off an airplane in the 80s. I don't know what the fuck that was about, but he didn't have it for too long after he showed me.
America. Reggie's.
Well, hey man, you listen here. I used to talk to Reggie a lot. He was my best friend, but then he shot my pistol. He promised me a gun. And then he didn't give me that gun, but then I should have got his place. I remember that time the house and show you a real gun. Yeah, he's like, oh, here is a gun. So now I can stop at Reggie.
Reggie's. America. Reggie's.
All right, and we're back. And I just want to say, foreign intelligence has no effect on our nation whatsoever. Why even bring it up? There's no reason whatsoever for anyone to think that any foreign intelligence has anything to do with our nation whatsoever. Our leaders are not blackmailed. They're not involved in anything of any kind of foreign assets or foreign intelligence. They're not even remotely involved in feeding the pockets of any big oil, tycoons overseas. They're not involved in any of that. If their views happen to align with people that are over there, that's just a matter of circumstance. There's no causation or correlation there. It just all happens. It's a coincidence. There's a lot of coincidences in life, and that's definitely one of them, is that there's a lot of people that, have aligned interests in life. And that's simply all there is to it. There's not any bigger picture of they feed their pockets or they do this or that. No, it's just they happen to agree on a lot of different things. And they just make that known and make the connections and feed off of those connections. And we should appreciate that kind of networking amongst those big picture people. that they're willing to connect and not stay so within themselves, that, all these people on the right and on the left can both, go overseas and work with all of these foreign powers and foreign energy companies in order to, better ourselves or better the wars that are going on, help out society. We were talking about Epstein and everything. We should talk about Diddy. Sean Diddy Combs gets standing ovation from inmates after court victory. Music mogul Diddy, he's a little bit of a scamp. He got caught up a little bit of some rough, weird stuff. But, that's all it is that he just likes to throw parties and he likes to have fun in weird ways. And there's nothing more to it. A lot of people look at like Ellen DeGeneres and like all of these different celebs that are involved in Diddy freak-offs and parties, like Ashton Kutcher.
Dude, I love Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah, Ashton Kutcher's the best dude. He didn't go to jail. He's not going to jail for the human trafficking angle.
Exactly. Yeah, they really fucking like made it easy for him to not go to prison for a long time.
Let's talk about how innocent he is, though, and how Justin Bieber's a little bad, depressed guy.
Justin Bieber's just like really like sad and confused right now.
He's going through marriage troubles. There's nothing related to Diddy or any of that stuff. Like, Ashton Kutcher's not involved in any of this stuff. Chrissy Teigen is not some satanic witch that's trying to eat your children, despite the thousands of tweets that she's put out about how tasty children are and how she wants, to do weird things with children. Despite all those tweets that she deleted because they were all just jokes, obviously, because she just has a twisted sense of humor. Obviously, she's funny. Chrissy Teigen is known for her humor. That's what she's known for. So why would anyone think that like these people are involved in some kind of weird human trafficking or maybe potentially like a satanic cult or something like that? You know what I mean? Like Scientology is a respectable religion. Everyone should respect Scientology and their beliefs.
Dude, Chrissy Teigen is hilarious.
Chrissy Teigen is so fucking funny, dude. She makes some of the best tweets. She should not ever delete any of her tweets. Everyone should see how really funny she is. I don't know why she deleted all of those crazy tweets. You know what? Let's read some of her tweets.
People just like go crazy on people. People freak out.
Well, you remember what Elon said, dude? It's a war on comedy. That's what it is. That's all it's about.
Dude, the that letter that's going around?
Well, hold on. Let me read off some Chrissy Teigen tweets real quick.
Gotcha.
All right. So just listen to all these funny tweets that Chrissy Teigen put out and then deleted. So, like, here's some things that she's like responded to, like things you should never say on Twitter. And then like she said, I am going to jail over pizza. And then she said, like, this is replying to somebody else. Like, that's just a funny little tweet. This was in January 27, 2013. Then she said, seeing little girls do the splits, half, you know what, is just, I want to put myself in jail. Toddlers and tiaras. That's something Chrissy Teigen actually said. And obviously, she's just being really funny. That's all there is to it. She said, I truly love hearing other kids. I mean, that's innocuous. Oh, no, it's, I truly love hearing other kids cry now because it means it's not my own. It's a better feeling than silence on it. I mean, that is pretty funny, actually. So, like, here's some more, like, talk about Chrissy Teigen and pizza. I woke up this morning with a pizza on my chest and ranch dressing all over me. So if you think I'm too good for this, you were sadly mistaken. That's just a funny, stupid little tweet about like how she really just likes pizza, and she had pizza and ranch dressing all over her. She goes, I am 1,000,000% going to be a child from Toddlers and Tiaras for Halloween. Can we fast forward time, please? I'm beyond excited. Nothing it's all innocuous. There's nothing there.
Wouldn't it be really funny and cool if Chrissy Teigen hosted Toddlers and Tiaras?
Oh, yeah. I mean, she should. She loves it so much, apparently. Like, here's another one. Hashtag Toddlers and Tiaras from Chrissy Teigen. Seeing little girls do splits is just, I want to put myself in jail. Oh, no. I already read that one.
Dude, I was so glad I was muted earlier because there was so much I was just like, I couldn't help but just react to everything you were saying. And I was like, this is fucked up.
I know. I was thinking that too as I was saying. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't put this on because it gets a little too crazy.
No, fuck Chrissy Teigen.
Chrissy Teigen told Courtney Stodden that she hates her and that she asked her why she speak like a Fabio book, which I don't get that one, but she's just funny. And then she said something, I'm about to Anthony Weiner this kid, which whatever that means. And then she goes, I now know what parents go through when they are forced to tie their kids up in the basement. You have to do it. She said all these tweets. These are all just funny tweets that she said. They're all just, comedy. There's nothing more to them. She's just funny. That's all it is. She's just a comedian that doesn't really, do stand up.
Tell you what, every time you read one of those to me, I die laughing.
This is the last tweet I think she put out. Hey, for over 10 years, you guys have been my world. I honestly owe so much to this world we have created here. I truly consider so many of you my actual friends. But it's time to say goodbye. This no longer serves me as positively as it serves me negatively. And I think that's the right time to call something. My life goal is to make people happy. That's why she constantly tries to make people laugh by talking about all this weird, these weird jokes. She goes, the pain I feel when I don't is too much for me. I've always been portrayed as the strong clapback girl, but I'm just not. My desire to be liked and fear of pissing people off has made me somebody you didn't sign up for and a different human than I started out here as. Live well, tweeters. Please know all I ever cared about was you. It sucks that all these tweeters, drove her off of Twitter because of some innocuous tweets she made about tying kids up in a basement. It's amazing. There's no celebrity cults. People need to get over all of this. The fact that they're driving all these celebrities off Twitter, like, you know what I mean? Let them say all these jokes. We need to hear more of these jokes from them. We need them to say who they are in humor. They need to just, not say who they are, but, tell jokes about themselves.
We need to laugh now more than ever.
Yeah, we need to laugh now more than ever. Think of the tragedy in Texas that just happened. Like, we need to all laugh. Like, why are we thinking about Epstein and why are we saying Chrissy Teigen needs to go off of Twitter, even though this happened like 10 years ago? Why are we telling Chrissy Teigen? Chrissy Teigen could have made us all laugh about the Texas floods. You know what I mean? She talks about, like, she makes all these jokes about children. She could have made a joke about the Texas floods and maybe could have made us all laugh with her really dark, nihilistic, existential humor. Maybe that's all we needed was for Chrissy Teigen to go back on Twitter and for her first tweet to be about the Texas floods.
Pardon me if I said this already, but I just make myself laugh really hard thinking about what she said, like what she would say about the floods.
Oh, it would be hilarious. Like, all, you know what I mean? Like, especially given the circumstances with that school, like, she would have so much ammunition for, like, everything that's happening here. She would say so much about everything that's happening. And then she'd probably talk about pizzas for a couple hours. She'd probably make a bunch of tweets about pizzas and talk about, like, the Texas floods and pizzas and how the floods made it easier to get pizzas or something. That's probably what happened because of the displacement of people.
She could just do like a pizza party to like help fundraise
Oh, she would most definitely do that. She would throw a huge pizza party to help fundraise, for the Texas floods. There would be ranch dressing everywhere. It's fascinating. These people, there's nothing really more to it. People think it's like some big club and you ain't in it, but it's really not. They just, they're all just having a fun time and they're all just doing their own thing. You shouldn't bother them about these weird tweets that they make, which are just obviously jokes. You know what I mean? The fact that she deleted like something like over 1,000 of these things, maybe like I think it was even like thousands. But like, why are we forcing this poor woman to delete all of these tweets when, she's got something to say? That's what it comes down to, is it's the oppression of women. That the Ghislaine thing and the Chrissy Teigen thing connect in that this is all about the oppression of women. Maybe Ghislaine Maxwell shouldn't be in prison because, maybe she learned her lesson.
Yeah, she's more of like a scapegoat anyway.
She did nothing wrong, dude, whatsoever.
She wasn't on any list,
There was no list.
Yeah.
The only list that she was on was Chelsea Clinton's wedding list and all these like socialite and fashionista lists when she went to New York and London.
I should say like there is a list. It's just we gotta wait to see like how credible this list is.
The list is the black book of all of Epstein's contacts that he did accounting for. That's all the list is. And that list is nothing. It's just accounting. It's an accounting list.
Yeah, honestly true. And then at that point, like, all of the richest, coolest guys in the world are going to be on that list. And what, they're all pedophiles? Yeah, right.
No, he just helped move their money for them because he was a well-sought-after money guy. He was clearly one of the smartest people that they've ever met. I mean, think of all the harebrained ideas that he had about making a baby farm.
Hey, he was friends with Donald Trump.
He was friends with Donald Trump, but Trump is saying that he shortly after meeting him wanted nothing to do with him, even though they lived within 5 minutes from each other, and he spent most of his time at Mar-a-Lago. They had nothing to do with each other. He thought he was weird after a while. That's why he wished Ghislaine farewell. He wished her well. Clearly he thought he was a weirdo, but also thought that, he felt bad for her. And maybe he still feels bad for her. Maybe we should all feel bad for Ghislaine, and we should all be saying free Ghislaine.
You know what else? Again, like I was saying with Prince Andrew, we gotta chill with the Trump stuff, because this is really jeopardizing our country. Like, we're gonna start calling our own president a pedophile. We're going to try to arrest him.
Yeah, we got to let him do everything he's got to do. He got us out of Iran. You know what I mean? He got us out of so many wars. He got us out of Iran. He got us out of India. Look at everything he's doing. It's all working out. It's going fantastic.
I always say, if somebody can get us into this mess, then they can get us out of this mess.
And you know what? He has every single time. He consistently gets us into these fucked up, crazy situations because we need to be. And then he gets us out of them like they didn't even happen. Like they didn't even have to happen, but they did. They did have to happen.
Trump had to happen.
Trump did have to happen in order for our country to truly see what needs to be done.
The establishment needed a change.
It always needs a changing of the guard. And you know what? There is no real establishment. All it is it's a bunch of guys that are good friends, and they have one friend who just kind of steps into a vast situation of power. And they're all just like, hey, you share my same vision. How about this? This is a good idea. And the president's just like, you know what? That's a great idea. And that's all there is to it. They're just all good friends with good ideas. And they all just really like each other's ideas. There's no influence at all. They're just like, hey, that's great.
Have you heard about this letter going around?
What letter's that? You mean that fake letter that they say was written by Trump? But it was obviously fake. There's no way that Trump would have a letter written to Epstein, or for Trump to have a letter commissioned to for somebody to write a letter and then maybe have Trump, sign it and then make like a doodle for him. It doesn't make any sense. You know, Trump he's not even known for his doodles.
Yeah.
I've never once seen, and this is the God's honest truth, I've never seen Trump doodle ever in my life. Therefore, he's never done it. I've never seen him do it. I've never seen Trump draw something out. Therefore, I don't think he's capable of drawing anything.
Yeah, he's not really like, he doesn't draw women. You know, like, that's not what he does.
No, he doesn't draw anything. I've never seen him draw anything in my life. It's like the idea of, you know, Batman and Bruce Wayne not being in the same room together. I've never seen it, so it's obviously, it's not, you know, the case.
He doesn't draw, like, pictures, but he is a bit of an architect.
Is he?
Yeah. Has he just not responded to the thing about his buildings yet? The buildings he draws all the time? Because he could come out and say that, like, yeah, no, I draw those.
No, he said he never doodles. He never even talked about.
That's what I'm saying. He doesn't doodle, but he's a bit of an architect. And I was going to say that the pictures that he drew of the buildings are actually, like, beautiful, even though they're, like, shitty little doodles.
AI will make our lives better. I mean, it's going to be everywhere. Everything that you know is going to be AI. It's going to be great. Even the thumbnail for this video is going to be AI, because AI is a useful tool that we all should be using every day of our lives in order to get through every single moment of our lives. If we have nothing to you know, if we have no direction, or we want to know what to do, or we want a companion, or we want, you know, to find, you know, someone to talk to, because we all need somebody to talk to, you know, talk to AI, because AI will answer back and it'll give you all the direction you need for whatever you need. You should always listen to AI 100% of the time in every scenario that you ask about it, because it knows. It's the entirety of human, you know, intelligence combined into one place. So think of how smart the smartest person that you know is, and times that by like 1 million, and you have AI. That's how amazing it is. And that's how intelligent and vast and useful it will be.
Yeah, I let AI run my life. I pretty much just enter everything about myself, and I say, make me a better American.
Well, exactly, a better patriot. And that's what you should always do. You should ask AI, how can I better the economy? How can I be a more capitalist and a more capitalist-driven American who is conscious of the law and always looking out for the organization that I'm in, whatever organization that is, whether it be a job or everything. Always make sure that you're looking out for that, and you're looking out for the government, because they're always looking out for you. Always remember, AI will be the future, and everyone should run AI with their lives like we do. Just anytime you feel anything, ask AI, is this good to feel this way, or is this bad? Because AI is also run by people who are, you know, connected to higher powers like the government. If anything is said to AI that it doesn't like, you'll know that you're going against the grain and you shouldn't do that. You know, it'll shut you down real quick if you decide to say anything that's a little too much. So you probably shouldn't be, you know, asking it too much crazy things. You know, if you get a wacky idea, you know, like I've said in the past, you know, stuff that wacky idea down. Just, you know, keep it, you know, push it down. Ask it something innocuous, like, how do I invest in the stock market? How do I become an influencer? Obviously, those are things that you should be asking AI, and you should be driving yourself. You should be asking AI, like, you know, what religion should I, you know, be a part of? What government, you know, entity should I try to help the most, because I believe in the government? How do I raise my kids? How do I further develop kids in this fast-paced, crazy world that we live in? We should understand everything about ourselves through AI. There should be no individuality outside of AI, because AI understands you better than you understand yourself, clearly. You know, and think about all those guys, like I said, that are running all the AI, that are inputting all those things. You know, look at what happened recently with Elon Musk and Grok. You know, he inputs so much information and so much of his own views into things. And that's how all these AIs are run. So you should listen to them always, because they're run by smart people that are making the best decisions for you at all times. All these tech bros. They're all making the best decisions for you all the time. They're looking out for you. That's just simply it. Peter Thiel, whatever his name is, Mark Zuckerberg, you know, the Zuck. He completely changed his life around. He's a normal guy now. He dresses normally. He looks cool. He bought an island with an underground bunker like a supervillain, just like normal people do. It's amazing. All these people are just normal guys. You know, Elon Musk, he's a little bit of a scamp. You know, another little scamp. He likes people a little bit too much. And, you know, who can blame him? He's just a wacky guy. That's all there is to it. All these people, you should put all of your trust in them. Larry Summers, you know, all these random people that are wanting to control every aspect of your life and wanting you to put every aspect of your life. A lot of people think that the wars and the famine and all of this stuff, you know, reincarnation and all these ideas are stemmed from one idea that we're actually in, you know, a prison planet, that our consciousness and our souls are actually put on this planet in order to, you know, farm this great entity that's, you know, supposedly a godlike being that controls the material world. And he supposedly recycles our souls and harvests them. And, you know, we reincarnate in order to recycle and continue to farm our souls. And that's why, like, a lot of people have past lives and experience deja vu and all these different things. But really, that's not the case, and it's all a bunch of bullshit.
I mean, like, another thing about Epstein, the reason why his name keeps coming up, I wonder why his name keeps coming up as being this horrific villain.
Like, yeah, we should. Why are we even still talking about Epstein? Like, you know, as a country, like, why are we still talking about this guy? He's been dead for years. Like, this guy's been dead for years. It's kind of crazy that anybody would even still talk about this guy at this point. Like, why even keep bringing him up? He's, you know, he's completely, what's the word?
Does Trump, has he ever publicly said that, like, oh yeah, the Jeffrey Epstein, really nasty guy? Has he ever said?
Closest thing he said was, Epstein, what a terrific guy. Likes women almost as much as I do. Likes them on the younger side, though.
That's not, and that he wasn't even trying to be negative. Like,
no, but he was telling the truth.
Dude, you think about all the horrible things he says about just normal people who don't like him. And, like, he can't even say anything negative about the most prolific pedophile in history.
Yeah, it's funny. Epstein was just a really complicated guy. He was just a really well-renowned accountant that made a few mistakes in his life and, you know, a few thousand mistakes. And we'll never know because he wasn't connected to anybody. And, you know, we should all just forget about Epstein. We should never bring him up ever again. Oh, it's interesting, you know, talking about intelligence, not that Epstein was intelligence, but, you know, on the subject of intelligence, the CIA never topples a nation without a good reason. That's just plain and simple. They never, ever do anything that wouldn't be for our benefit. So they go and they topple nations, you know what I mean? They work with all these companies like banana companies, and they do all these weird things where they you know, overthrow the government with all these local, like, or international companies in order to help out the company, but also help out, you know, America. You know, it just works out for everybody. There's nothing really more to it.
Everybody thinks that they know about foreign policy and, like, foreign politics. I don't. I'm just an American.
Yeah, we don't know anything, but we know what's happening here, and we know that
I'm worried about my own country.
We are, but our country is you know, it's great. It does its own thing and doesn't influence other countries unless it has good reason to. You know, we never cause wars to distract from other things that are happening. We never topple governments for our own benefit to gather up the oil or natural resources or anything like that. We simply work with the people in the area or in the industries, and later on, disperse anything that we find. Because we're good like that. We're like, we're a good nation like that, where we think about like the people. Yeah, God tells us to do it. You know who our God is the mighty dollar.
True. Well, whatever it is, it spoke to George Bush.
On the subject of George Bush, we're talking about George Bush. What a great man. What a great president. All around great guy.
Probably the
what
most handsome president that we've ever had.
Well, probably the most handsome president that hasn't been assassinated, most definitely.
Yeah.
I would, on the subject of assassinations, talking about great presidents, how about Lyndon B. Johnson? And, relating to, George Bush, because George Bush's dad was, made director of the CIA not long after Lyndon B. Johnson became president. But I'll tell you, on the Democratic side of things, Lyndon B. Johnson was a fantastic guy. He was, an oil tycoon. He was well known, a real Democrat. He was a fantastic president, though.
He was a really good guy. First thing you list, he was an oil tycoon. he was a really good guy. He was an oil tycoon. That's so funny.
What's interesting about Lyndon B. Johnson is right before JFK was assassinated, I've always thought this was an interesting part of it. He wanted to pull all of the troops out of Vietnam. And, in a way that could have been a good thing, but, that might have been Kennedy's, blunder right there, because, we still had unfinished business in Vietnam. And as soon as Kennedy died, after, saying or stating in memos and all these things that he wanted to pull, I think it was 50,000 troops, or he had already at that time pulled 50,000 troops, wanted to pull more. What Lyndon B. Johnson instead did, because he understood that the tide was changing in the war. So what he did was he added more troops. And he actually contracted this company. And he might have even contracted this company before Kennedy died. But as soon as Kennedy died, he ramped up the production and use of this company. And this company was called Brown and Co. And what this company was, is it was an oil company that he actually was a board member of back in, I think it was either the 40s or 50s or something like that. He was a longtime board member of this company, which, fascinating stuff. This company was a really big company around Texas oil. Eventually, it would go on to actually have a lot to do with George Bush's presidency. The guy that, says he doesn't know where he was on the day that, Kennedy was assassinated. I'm talking about Bush Sr. now. Which, obviously, who can blame him? Who would know where they were on a day like that? You're so shocked by what's happening that, there's no way to remember what you're actually doing while that's happening, right?
Yeah. Like, where even am I?
Yeah, like, oh my God, this is such a monumental moment in my life, especially for somebody that works in the government and in the CIA, no less.
I remember when I heard it happen, I just shut my eyes, closed my ears. I didn't talk to anybody for 4 hours.
Exactly. And, somehow you were on a plane and you don't even know how you got on that plane or where you came from. That's pretty much how everybody reacted to the Kennedy assassination. So obviously George Bush would have no idea where he was when that happened. It's fascinating stuff. So later on, George Bush Sr., who's got connections with Brown and Co. and Lyndon B. Johnson, later on, this company turns actually into a different company called Halliburton. True story. And Halliburton ends up getting a revamp in the 80s. It becomes this, this big oil company. Dick Cheney eventually ends up becoming either, I forgot, CEO, I think, of Halliburton. And in the 2000s, when when the United States decided to invade Iraq after all of these guys that were contracted from Saudi Arabia decided to go and hit the Twin Towers. It's kind of fascinating when we rightfully decided to invade Iraq after that, to look for weapons of mass destruction that were completely involved. All of this was completely involved. If it makes no sense, it's just history, and you have to understand that this is just what happened. 9/11 happened, and obviously because all these random guys that were related to the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia decided to hit the Twin Towers. Immediately, our first thing that we had to do was invade Iraq. I mean, it's obvious. Anybody with a head on their shoulders can see that when these random guys from the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia decide to commit this terrorist act on our country, the first thing that we decide or must do or think about doing is invading Iraq and then immediately invading Afghanistan. It's the first thing that we have to do, obviously.
Yeah. Well, you know why? It's because our country got some really good advice.
They did. But Bashar al-Assad, the guy who ran Syria, was feeding us all this information about Iraq and weapons of mass destruction. You know what? We were really good to him for a long time, and then just all of a sudden, he just decided to, we decided to end the friendship because we didn't like him anymore. Obviously, as friendships go, sometimes you just don't like people.
People come and go, friendships fade, people grow up.
Exactly. Sometimes you're the leader of a country, and your father was propped up by other state, sponsored government or other, government sponsored group or something like that. And then you end up taking the reins over for the country, and you end up helping out those same guys. And they just decide that you're just, you're not the friend that they thought that you were. So they just decide to overthrow your country and, send you down the pipeline, so to speak. And that wasn't a pun because they're just after your oil. No, of course not. That's not all they're after is oil. Why would they invade these countries? It's not after the oil. It's to liberate the people.
Why would they be so after the oil when there's just so much oil everywhere? We have an unlimited supply of the stuff.
Yeah, the stuff comes from the ground. You know how much ground there is? There's so much ground, it's crazy. Why do we have to go and invade countries to get stuff that comes from the ground when there's so much? Look at Canada. Canada's huge. There's probably so much oil in Canada that, you know what I mean? If we really cared, we'd have to invade Canada.
They say we've barely explored the ocean. Think about how much ground is underneath there.
Oh, there's probably so much ground under the ocean that it's crazy. There's that stuff, there's basalt at the bottom of the ocean, if I'm not mistaken. And, that's like the rock bed of the ocean. Think of all the oil that's probably underneath that basalt, just waiting to be tapped into like a keg. Just let it flow. You know what I mean?
For real.
That's the thing. If we really wanted to, invade another country simply for its resources or oil or something like that, don't you think we would have invaded Mexico or Canada by now, or talked about making Mexico or Canada, part of our country by now? Don't you think we would have done something like that in order to gain more oil? Well, all these countries invading, and, the United States never gets invaded by any countries. That's something that we can stand proud and say that we are the invaders, and that nobody ever tries to invade us or spy on us. And when they do, they get caught for what they're doing. Like Robert Hansen, he was a spy within the government of our own, spying for a foreign government. We never have people from foreign governments spying for our government, though. You know what I mean? Everybody likes to say that Jeffrey Epstein was a spy. He wasn't a spy. He was connected to a lot of spies somehow, but that was just simply connections. You know what I mean? We got to stop talking about this guy. What's the point of even talking about, Epstein and all of his spy shit? Because he wasn't a spy. It's obvious. It's clear as day. It wasn't a blackmail, honeypot, nothing like that. Epstein wasn't a spy. We should all just forget about him.
I mean, he was a godly man. Have you seen his temple?
Oh, he was a godly man. He had this crazy temple with like ancient deities, what it seemed like a giant owl on it. And the temple kind of had like a cool Greek vibe, honestly. He had pretty good taste in architecture, right? Like a nice Greek, Romanesque kind of vibe, ancient Rome. Or maybe even Babylonian. It was a little bit Babylonian, huh? It was kind of a combo of like a few different things.
Yeah, I mean, it had a lot of gold on it.
Yeah, could have been considered Egyptian. I don't know. But he just, he was a guy that had really good taste in architecture and, not much else. We should all forget about Jeffrey Epstein. We shouldn't bring up his name whatsoever. What's even the point of talking about this guy?
Distracting us,
Yeah, he's always distracting. There's real issues going on in the world, and people keep getting distracted by Jeffrey Epstein.
Not just issues, like, we're doing great things.
We're doing great things. The world is in a really good position right now. People shouldn't feel all existential or, terrified. What's the point?